Get your candles ready if you're going to be filling containers like every week, which is what we do at the restaurant. You burn them down as much as you can, and then to get the extra wax and the wick out in a simple, easy way, you just place it upside down with some newspaper into the oven on the lowest possible heat, and then watch it very carefully. As soon as the wax drops down, it'll saturate the newspaper, and then just very carefully take them out with the mitt and put them in some hot soapy water that you have ready, and just wash out any soot or dark spots. The wick is a really important part of it because that will make your candle burn the right way. So you might need to experiment on which wicks to use and ask an expert. The wicks are actually different diameter, then you can cut them to your own length. Use that wax that is for containers. Container soy wax. Soy wax it comes in flakes, and it's very oily. So as soon as you start touching it, you're going to need to protect your environment because it kind of sticks wherever it lands. There's a lot of variety of things you can use to pour, and we got this at a thrift store, and it was like the perfect thing because it's light, and it's got a handle that won't get hot, and it's a good size. So you don't want to, usually you don't want to heat up more than this amount of wax. And then a pot, of course, to boil your water and put the beaker in. You want to have some newspaper or paper to cover your surfaces because you'll almost always drip. Wear clothes that you don't mind getting splashed and waxy. When you have your surface ready, you can place all your handle holders down. We've got a mishmash of different kinds, and I always have some of these little aluminum things ready because sometimes you only have a tiny bit of wax left in the beaker, and so they're kind of perfect for using every bit. Yeah, so even this step of pouring the flakes into the beaker, you want to have something under it that will catch any spills. So I'm going to put the wax into the boiling water, into our little double boiler little thing here. Wax is all melted, you can take it out, and what happens next is that I let it cool slightly, and I just set it outside for like 5 or 10 minutes and let the temperature come down. So the general idea about the cooling and heating is that once you pour your wax into the containers, you want it to stay at an even temperature. So if it's a little bit cooler, it'll be closer to your room temperature, and then they'll cool at that same temperature, and then they'll be less apt to crack. After your wax is cooled, then the next part is pouring. And just pour it to the desired height. So after you've poured some of your containers, you can do another batch of wax. And this time is a time you want to be around and just notice how the wax starts to change color. So it'll start solidifying, and especially with the really small one, they go really fast, and I've often not been quick enough. So already, you know, it's kind of hard to see that little one, but it's already getting thick. So you put your little wick right in the middle and try to center it, and then it's ready to wait for 24 hours. And all of these I would wait a little bit longer, because if it you can put the wick in any time. So I could put, you know, this one in right now, but often what will happen is that the wick will start going to one side, and then I have to keep adjusting it until it gets thick enough to hold itself up. So like if it were this one, I would just put some chopsticks like that. And then you could do a whole row. So then the very last thing, in 24 hours, and it's really important to wait 24 hours to let them set, and then the last step is to just cut the wick, depending how much longer it is. But when your candle burns and it becomes liquid all the way around, all the way to the edges of your container, and so if your wax turns liquid the whole way, then you've chosen the right wick. And there you go. So it's really simple, and it's really fun.
I know, it's cool. You go through like the Return of the Jedi. Through the caves, through the canyons.